Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the Ultimate Micro RPG book, 40 Fast and Fun Tabletop Games. Warning, there are spoilers for this book in this video. This is also my review of this book. So let's not bury the lead. First and foremost, this is a 5 out of 5 star tabletop role-playing game product. I absolutely love this book. I picked it up about a month ago, and I've started already using it, running games from it, and I've read every single game in this book. So what is this book? So first of all, it's made by James DAmato, and he collected a whole bunch of new tabletop role-playing game stars, old game designers, old role-playing game designers, and pulled them together and said, I want you to create the following. And I'll show you an example of one of the games. And there's 40 of these in the book, okay? So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So this is what this book is filled with. There are 40 of these. So this is a one-page game, all right? But it's one page, literally one page from the book, but it's double-sided, okay? So I'm not going to show you the backside of this. I want to preserve the secrets of the book for anybody who decides to purchase it. And I really suggest purchasing this book. I think this is an every Dungeon Master purchase. Now, why did I say Dungeon Master rather than Game Master? If you're a Game Master, I highly encourage you to be running Dungeons & Dragons. I think you should be running Dungeons & Dragons 50% of your time for the health of the hobby, right? So I really think this is an awesome workout for anybody who wants to be a really good Dungeon Master, wants to play Dungeons & Dragons and have some diversity behind their style of play, understand how many different kinds of games there can be, and how you can change, so that you can change your Dungeons & Dragons game in a dynamic way. So everybody who wants to be a skilled Dungeon Master, I highly suggest getting this game. So there are 40 of these, right? So I'll show you real quick. So, this, and actually you're like, wait, and I can understand. So there are 40 actual individual games in this book, okay? So first of all, let's talk about them for a minute. You're like, wait, Scott, did you just show me a bunch of pages that were torn out of that book? Yes, I did. Why were there a bunch of pages torn out of the book? Well, first and foremost, it says it right here. It says tear out and play now. So these are designed to be torn out and for you to be able to run an entire tabletop role-playing game with literally one page from a book. And that's another reason why I just think this is every tabletop role-playing game. Every Dungeon Master needs to get this book and understand it. So one of the things is, let's take a look at what's in here, right? So you could see a list of all the games, and we'll jump to the back here. This is a better description of this. So this game has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 8, 10 fantasy games in it. It looks like it has 7. It looks like it has 7 science fiction games, 3 comedy games, 3 horror games, and then 3 sports games and 3 animal games, and a little over 10 modern setting games, right? So you just get every genre in this book. It's really fantastic. And it encourages you, and the pages are like a heavy cardstock, so they're very durable. Now, you can use them in a lot of ways. So one, you can play them straight, just the way the book says. Here's an entire tabletop role-playing game able to be played with a single page. That's one way to do it. What I've already done, and I think what I really would suggest, and the reason why I'm going back to Dungeons & Dragons on this, and why I think every Dungeon Master should be reading this is Agony of Elves, right? So this is a tabletop role-playing game that was designed where people would sit down together. You kind of you have a Dungeon Master and you have a Game Master, and it's the story of people each player character plays an elves coming from their Twilight realm back into the real world to get an artifact, right? But what I use this for is I recently just tore this out of the book and took this right into my 5th edition game and used this to create a really compelling, quickly done Elf Nation off of the adventure. So I started my players in the adventure in the Essentials kit, And so they were in Faerun, and then they were done dealing with the Phandalin area. They ended up needing to go see the elves, right? And so I just used this, and it was so fast, right? There's a keeper, a lector, a mage, a priestess, a scout, a soldier. I tore this right out of the book, and I gave names like Sariel, Driali, Thoraval for the mage, priestess Riali, scout Jarsali, and soldier Mindartis, right? Now, where did I get those names? I got those names right out of Xanathar's, right? But this allowed me to create an entire nation for the elf area, and it blew me away. Like the Rocky Shore, the Human Village, Thieves Road, Grey Forest, Sun King's Crypt, Sun King's Wrath, Mists of Desolation, Human Fools, Night Beast, Ghost of the Broken, the Thing of the Mirror, the Specters of Grief. Each one of these games is a really fully crafted world that you can launch from. It's a launching pad. It's not a fully crafted world. It's a launching pad for a world. And there's 40 of these things, and they're absolutely amazing. They're just really, really fantastic. So you can get 1 to 3 sessions of play for an existing tabletop role-playing game, and definitely for Dungeons & Dragons from all the fantasy games in here. Or you can run them straight the way they designed. But having that ability to run sessions right out of here is just fantastic. I cannot suggest purchasing this book highly enough. Also, if you look in here, right, you could take a look. I'll show you right here. So one of the things is, like, what is a micro RPG? By the way, micro RPGs have been around for a while. Powered by the Apocalypse. The Powered by Apocalypse community has been making these forever. Blades in the Dark, one of the best tabletop role-playing games ever written by John Harper, came from a micro game, Ghost Lines, which is probably the best. Ghost Lines, you can get it for free right now. It's John Harper made it. It's one of the best micro RPGs that's ever been written, and it's just it's so good. And this is really diving into this. So it really, and if you look, what is a PC? What is a GM? Knowing the roles, right? And then look at this. This is incredible the way they do this. The reason I love this book so much is it looks at a tabletop role-playing game and it just cuts out the nonsense and gets right to it. Golden rules. People matter more than games. Fun matters more than rules. Make choices important, right? Using the tools. Dice, cards, maps and webs, prompts, kinetics, epistolary, right? It is boiling everything down to the basics, right? Random draw, clock meters. There's safety tools in here. We see safety tools. I'm going to skip a couple pages here. Again, I don't want to spoil the whole book for everybody, but I definitely want to encourage you to take a look at this thing. It talks about stat boxes and tags, right? What are tags? What's the genre of the game that you're playing, right? And genre is very distinct from, and it gives you different genres. The tone. What's the tone of your game? What's the format of your game, right? There is a couple sad notes in here. There is some GM-less stuff. Of course, anybody who runs a proper tabletop role-playing game doesn't have any time for GM-less games. It's pretty horrible. But you do you're brushing up against the storyteller games here. You got to be careful about that. Nobody really wants that, but it's here, but still, this is just a fantastic game. I love this. Also, they talk about the complexity of your game, right? This is absolutely brilliant book. I highly recommend this for any dungeon master out there. Got to get this. And one of the reasons why I'm saying this is a 5 out of 5 is right here. This is $17 US, right? There's 40 games in here for $17 US. This thing is phenomenal. Get it right away. James DAmato has really delivered a fantastic product here. I was really blown away by this book, and I suggest it for anybody out there. Thank you very much. Take care.